All right, so in this activity, we're going to be looking at establishing the vertex, excuse me, which we did last week. And so, if you want to do all 8 problems, great, but I'd like you to do just 4 on the left side. So go ahead and begin with the first problem, identify the x value of the vertex, and then the y value, and then come back and turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. All right, so to find the x value of the vertex, we need to take each of the factors and set them equal to 0, because if I'm looking for the real solutions, or what's called the x-intercepts, or the zeros, I have to set y equal to 0, and then get each factor set equal to 0. So that means that when x is -4 and when x is -12, that is when the parabola is going to cross the x-axis. Those are our zeros. Now what we're looking for in this activity is how do we find the x value of the vertex and then eventually the y value. So last week we talked about taking the two answers, -4 and -12, and adding them together and then dividing that by 2. So -12 divided by 2 is -8. So the x value of the vertex is -8. Now -8 is a number line with 3 numbers now. -12, -8, and -4. -8 and -4 are 4 apart, and -8 and -12 is also 4 apart. To find the y value of the vertex, go back to the original equation of y equals x plus 4 and x plus 12, and we substitute in our x value. So we get -8 plus 4 and -8 plus 12. So -8 plus 4, -8 plus 12. The y value of the vertex will be -4 for the first parenthesis and +4 for the second parenthesis. So the y value of the vertex will be at -16. The answers here, the -4 and the +4, actually is being communicated here in our number line that I drew. That when I'm going from -8 to -4, that's an increase of 4. And when I'm going from -8 to -12, that's a decrease of 4. So those numbers that we're getting are actually the distances that the x value of the vertex is away from the zeros. So the final answer here is -8, -16. Go ahead and go on to problem 2, the second one, and if you would go ahead and solve for the x and y vertex there. Turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. So like the first problem, we're going to set the equation equal to 0. This is really a great hint when looking at equations for quadratics is when am I solving for x and when am I not? And when you see y has been replaced with 0, that's a great indicator that they're wanting you to find the values for x, which again are our zeros. So x minus 7 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 7, and x equals 1. If you haven't got any further than this, go back to the first problem, look at it, hopefully take good notes, and go ahead and see if you can find the x value of the vertex as well as the y. Turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. So to find the x value of the vertex, we're going to take the two answers, 1 and 7, and add them together, and then divide by 2. So the answer is 4. Would indicate, mentioned the first problem, anytime you're entering this in the calculator, make sure you put the numerator in parentheses, because the 7 plus 1 actually gets done first to get the answer of 8, and then we divide by 2 last. So to find the y value of the vertex, we'll go back to the original problem of x minus 7 and x minus 1. And we're going to replace x with 4 in both cases. As I mentioned earlier, if I think about the vertex, which is at 4, and these are zeros, which are 1 and 7, and I think what the answer to get when we plug 4 into the problem, which is a negative 3 here and a positive 3, which is negative 9, that's going to be the y value of the vertex. That negative 3 and positive 3 is the difference between the x value of the vertex and our zeros. So if I take 4 plus 3, I get to 7. If I take 4 minus 3, I get to 1. So 1 answer will be positive and the other one will be negative. 3. Go ahead and complete this and turn the video back on when you are ready to check your work. Next, when I set this equal to 0, 2 times x minus 2, x minus 4. I'm still setting the factors of x minus 2 equal to 0 and x minus 4 equal to 0. Find out that x is 2 and x equals 4. So this parabola, the parabola is going to cross the x-axis at 2 and at 4. So to find the x value of the vertex, we take our two answers, which are 2 and 4, add them together, and divide by 2. Just keep in mind, don't forget to put the 2 plus 4 in parentheses if you're doing the entire problem. You want to calculate the entire problem for you. 6 divided by 2, the x value of the vertex is 3. The y value, go back to the original equations, it's 2 times x minus 2, x minus 4. We're going to replace the x's with 3, becomes 3 minus 2, and 3 minus 4. So it's 2 times 1 times negative 1. So the x value of the vertex is, so the y value of the vertex is at negative 2. So our vertex is at 3, negative 2. Again, a 1 and negative 1. If I look at all three values here, the vertex, x value of the vertex is 3, the zeros are 4 and 2. So 1 is an increase of 1 and the other is a decrease of 1. Starting with 3. Last problem, and again we'll come back and we'll definitely take a look at the equations. You are asked to write each of these problems in vertex form when you're finished. So go ahead and do the last problem, turn the video back on when you are ready to continue. So, like the previous problems, we're going to replace y with 0. So we're going to take the x plus 2, set it equal to 0, and the x plus 8, set it equal to 0. So the parabola is going to cross the x-axis at negative 8 and negative 2. To find the x value of the vertex, we're going to take our two answers, add them together, and then divide by 2. So negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. X value of the vertex will be at negative 5, comma something. To find the y value of the vertex, we're going to stick the negative 5 into this parenthesis. One answer will be positive, the other one's negative, so this is negative 3 for the first parenthesis, positive 3 for the second parenthesis. So final answer here is 27. And this graph actually is, the a value is 1. This graph is actually going down. So we have negative 8, negative 2, x value of the vertex is at 5, negative 5, 27. Because again, the a value is negative 3, and this graph is N-shaped instead of U-shaped. All right, going back to the first problem, it asks you to write these in vertex form. So this one would be y is equal to, our vertex is at -8, -16, so it's going to be x minus -8 squared plus -16. So the final answer is y equals x plus 8 squared minus 16. And that double negative inside the parenthesis becomes an addition problem. The second one, the vertex is at -9. So it becomes y is equal to x minus 4 prime squared plus -9. And so adding of a negative number becomes y equals point of x minus 4 squared minus 9. In the third problem, we do have an a value, so it becomes y is equal to 2 times x minus 3 quantity squared plus -2. The x value or h value in the vertex is 3, and the y value or k value is -2. We do a plus -2, so we could also rewrite this as y equals 2 times quantity of x minus 3 squared minus 2. And the last one, we have a value of -3 times, and it's -5, so it's x minus -5 squared, and then plus 27. The k value is positive. We have a double negative in the parentheses, so that becomes y equals -3 times the quantity of x plus 5 squared plus 27. All right, so this one, our problem here, number 2 and number 3, they're asking you to change these problems into general form, and then look for a pattern between the b value from the general form and the x value of the vertex. So this is problem number 1, the first problem we did. And then the problem 3, we're doing x minus 7, x minus 1, and that would be that second problem that we did. So these, the x value of the vertex, we already have that answer. All you're doing is using the general form here to find the b value from that equation. So go ahead and do the multiplication, and then go into problem 2 and 3. Turn the video back on when you're ready to continue with the both of those answers. All right, so for the first one, to multiply this goes back to our generic rectangles. So x plus 4 times x plus 12. So we have 4 answers, 1 pair of like terms. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, 12 times x is 12x, and 12 times 4 is 48. And we do have a pair of like terms, so in general form it's y equals x squared plus 16x plus 48. So in this problem here, the b value is 16. And the x value of the vertex, going back to the first problem we did, x value of the vertex is -8. So consider for a moment what do you think the relationship is between these two numbers. You can go in the first example, but get some ideas of what may be happening here. The second problem, again using our generic rectangle of x minus 7 times x minus 1. So x times x is x squared, x times -7 is -7x, -1 times x is -1x, and -1 times -7 is +7. So this answer would be y is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 7. So the b value is -8, and the x value of the vertex is back. So we got 4. So this video is going to end here, but take a look at the two problems, 2 and 3. Is there a pattern? Problem number 4 asks you to discuss it with somebody in your group. classmate.